Good afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams, and today we are going to be going over the loves for this week. Sorry, I'm not in my normal studio. Currently, I am in Puerto Rico with my family, but I wanted to make sure you got all the picks you needed for your upcoming fantasy week. Starting off with the quarterback position, we're going to go with Matthew Stafford. He's going against Detroit. That's his old team. I think his first trip back is going to be a successful one, and I think he's going to crush him. Next, we have Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan has actually been playing solid these last couple of weeks, and Miami doesn't scare me on defense anymore. They're not what they used to be. And I think with Calvin Ridley back, he's going to have a fantastic week. Moving on to Derek Carr versus Philadelphia. Derek Carr's had some solid games this year, but Philadelphia's actually been pretty solid against the quarterback this year. But I do think that Derek Carr's a good quarterback, and I think he should have a solid game this week. And this is by Apocalypse, everybody. If you're going down to Derek Carr's level, you need a quarterback this week. Moving on to the wide receiver position, Calvin Ridley is the wide receiver that I want to talk about. I think that him and Matt Ryan are going to be great this week. Miami doesn't scare me. Calvin Ridley is due for a bounce back game. I definitely think you should fire him up. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver core. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to be absolutely incredible this week. Fire them up for sure. Antonio Brown out, Rob Gronkowski out. All the targets are going to be going to them, so fire him up. And my last wide receiver is Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is all by himself, and he's going to get a lot of targets. Arizona's going to crush Houston. So that means that Brandon Cooks is going to get a lot of targets. Fire him up. He's going to be a beast this week. Up next, we have the running back position. Start Darrell Henderson. He's going to be an absolute beast this week going against Detroit. Detroit is absolute trash. They are so bad this year. I'm sorry, Detroit fans, but y'all are really bad. Detroit is going to get crushed by the Rams. Fire up your Darrell Henderson. He's an absolute beast, and they're going to run up the score. Matthew Stafford's first game home is going to be one to remember. Darrell Williams was the hottest running back off the waiver wire last week, and he showed out. Fire up your Darrell Williams if you want a great fantasy week this week. He's an absolute beast. And up next, we have J.D. McKissic, running back for the Washington football team. He's going to be an incredible play this week. In some leagues, you can find him off the waiver wire, but in most good leagues, he's not out there. If you have him, fire him up. Going against Green Bay, they're going to be down. They're going to have to throw it. And on top of that, Antonio Gibson is hurt right now. He may be playing through some injury, but he's not getting all the workload. Fire him up. And last but not least, James Conner. James Conner is getting all the work in the red zone. Arizona is going to crush Houston Texans this week. The Cardinals might drop 40 against Houston. You want a part of that game, and you want the man in the red zone. That's James Conner. Moving on to the tight end position. Mike Gesicki is going against the Atlanta Falcons. Miami is basically treating Mike Gesicki like he's a wide receiver. He almost never lines up as a tight end. You fire up Mike Gesicki this week, Mike Gesicki might be becoming a staple in your lineup. I think we found a tight end that's going to be getting the work that we need. He's basically getting treated like a wide receiver, and that's what you want from your tight end. All the targets. Because targets equals production. It finally happened. Zach Ertz got traded. He's now an Arizona Cardinal, but that opens up an opportunity for Dallas Goedert. He's finally alone, just like we expected at the beginning of the year, right? Well, only 2 months into the season, and now we got it. Dallas Goedert's by himself. Let's see what he can do. Fire him up this week. And last but not least, we have the defenses. Starting with the Arizona Cardinals going against Houston. Everybody knows Houston sucks. Fire up the Cardinals. Next, moving on to the New England Patriots. I know the defense hasn't been playing great recently, but they're going against the Jets, and we saw what they did to them last time. Bill Belichick against a rookie quarterback, undefeated. Moving on to the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are going against the Seahawks, which would have been on my defense list, but Russell Wilson's still out. Even though he's trying to throw left-handed, I don't think he's going to. Fire up your New Orleans Saints.